Have you ever witnessed a moment when someone's entire worldview shattered in an instant? When the masks we wear in society fall away to reveal the truth beneath? That's exactly what happened when billionaire tech mogul Alexander Reeves encountered a humble janitor named Michael Collins. If this story of redemption, hidden pasts, and the power of human connection speaks to you, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more life-changing stories that remind us what truly matters. Michael Collins pushed his cleaning cart down the polished marble hallway of Reeves Tower, his shoulders hunched from exhaustion. At 42, his once athletic frame had grown leaner, weathered by years of struggle and sacrifice. The midnight shift at the prestigious corporate building wasn't glamorous, but it paid enough to keep a roof over his daughter Emma's head and food on their table. As a single father, that was all that mattered. The late hours suited Michael. He could work while Emma slept at his sister's apartment, then be home in time to make breakfast and see her off to school. The arrangement wasn't perfect, but they made it work. They always had, ever since his wife Sarah had passed away from cancer 5 years ago, leaving him alone to raise their daughter. Tonight was different, though. The executive floor buzzed with activity despite the late hour. Reeves Technologies was finalizing a major acquisition, and the top brass had gathered for an emergency board meeting. Michael kept his head down as he emptied trash bins and wiped down surfaces, invisible to the powerful men and women who strode past him in designer suits. Alexander Reeves stood at the head of the conference table, his tailored Armani suit accentuating his commanding presence. At 38, he had built Reeves Technologies from a garage startup to a global powerhouse. His piercing blue eyes scanned the room as his executives presented the final details of their latest acquisition. "We're looking at a complete restructuring of their maintenance staff," said Victoria Winters, the head of operations. "We can cut costs by at least 30% by outsourcing." Alexander nodded, only half listening. The acquisition was practically finalized, these were just details. His attention drifted to the janitor quietly working in the corner of the room. Something about the man's methodical movements irritated him. Perhaps it was the reminder of the mundane, the ordinary, everything Alexander had fought so hard to rise above. "You there," Alexander called out suddenly, causing the room to fall silent. "The cleaning can wait until we're finished here." Michael looked up, startled. "Sorry, sir. I was just trying to stay on schedule. I'll come back later." Alexander waved dismissively. "What's your name?" "Michael Collins, sir." "Well, Collins, do you know what we're discussing in here? Billion-dollar decisions that affect thousands of jobs. The kind of decisions that determine whether people like you keep pushing mops or end up on the street." The executives shifted uncomfortably. This wasn't the Alexander Reeves they knew from press conferences and charity galas. This was the ruthless businessman who had clawed his way to the top, the side he usually kept hidden from public view. Michael's face flushed, but he maintained his composure. "I understand, Mr. Reeves. I'll finish up elsewhere." As Michael turned to leave, Alexander noticed a photograph taped to the inside of the cleaning cart. A young girl with bright eyes and a wide smile. "Is that your daughter?" he asked, his tone softening slightly. Michael paused, a protective instinct flaring. "Yes. Emma. She's 12. Must be hard, raising a child on a janitor's salary," Alexander remarked, drawing a few nervous chuckles from his executives. Michael's jaw tightened. "We manage just fine, sir." "I'm sure you do," Alexander replied with a smirk. "You're just a janitor, a single dad at that. I suppose some people are content with mediocrity." The words hung in the air like poison. Michael's hands gripped the handle of his cart until his knuckles turned white. He had endured plenty of condescension in this job, but something about Alexander's casual cruelty struck deeper. "With all due respect, Mr. Reeves, you don't know anything about me or my life," Michael said quietly. Alexander raised an eyebrow, amused by the janitor's defiance. "Enlighten me then, Collins. What hidden depths am I missing?" Michael shook his head and began to push his cart toward the door. As he reached for the handle, he rolled up his sleeve to check his watch, revealing a tattoo on his forearm. Alexander's eyes locked onto the ink, an intricate design of a phoenix rising from ashes, with a date and set of coordinates beneath it. His face drained of color. "Where did you get that tattoo?" he demanded, his voice suddenly hoarse. The room fell silent as Michael turned back, confused by the abrupt change in the billionaire's demeanor. Afghanistan. 12 years ago. Alexander rose from his chair, approaching Michael slowly, as if in a trance. Operation Phoenix Rising. Kandahar Province. July 8, 2014. Michael stared at Alexander, recognition dawning in his eyes. "Echo Team?" "I was Bravo Team," Alexander whispered. "We were the extraction unit." The executives watched in bewilderment as their ruthless leader stood face to face with the janitor, both men locked in a moment of shared history that no one else in the room could comprehend. "You were the pilot," Michael said, his voice thick with emotion. "The one who came back for us when the primary extraction was called off." Alexander nodded, his arrogance evaporating like morning mist. "We lost 2 men that day. And saved 14, including me," Michael replied. "I never knew your name. They kept the pilots' identities classified." Alexander's hand trembled slightly as he reached out to touch the tattoo, as if confirming it was real. "All team members got this after the mission. I have the same one on my shoulder." Victoria cleared her throat awkwardly. "Mr. Reeves, should we continue the meeting?" Alexander didn't even look at her. "Meeting adjourned. We'll reconvene tomorrow." His eyes never left Michael's face. "Collins, my office. Now." The executives filed out, casting curious glances at the janitor who had somehow shaken their unshakable CEO. When they were alone in Alexander's spacious corner office, the billionaire poured 2 glasses of whiskey and handed one to Michael. "I never thought I'd see another Phoenix team member again," Alexander said, loosening his tie. "Especially not cleaning my building." Michael accepted the drink but didn't sip it. "Life takes unexpected turns." "What happened?" "You were Special Forces. One of the best tactical leaders in the field, from what I heard." Michael's eyes grew distant. "I served another 4 years after that mission. Then Sarah, my wife, got sick. Stage 4 breast cancer. I took an honorable discharge to be with her and Emma. The medical bills." He shrugged. "You know how it goes. By the time Sarah passed, I had nothing left. Started over with whatever jobs I could find." Alexander sat heavily in his chair, the weight of Michael's story pressing down on him. "And now you're here, cleaning up after entitled executives who don't even see you." "It's honest work," Michael said simply. "It pays the bills. Emma needs stability, not excuses." Alexander stared into his glass. "I came back from deployment and used my engineering background to start a tech company. Right place, right time. The military connections helped with government contracts. The rest." He gestured around his opulent office. "Sometimes I don't recognize myself anymore." "Success changes people," Michael observed. "Not always for the better," Alexander admitted. He studied Michael's face, seeing now what he had missed before, the quiet dignity, the resilience that came from facing real adversity. "I owe you an apology, Collins. What I said out there was inexcusable." Michael nodded, accepting the apology without words. He finally took a sip of the whiskey. "Good stuff. Japanese. Costs more than most people make in a month," Alexander said, then winced at his own words. "And there I go again." Michael actually laughed. Old habits die hard. They fell into conversation, bridging the years and vastly different life paths. Alexander learned about Emma's talent for mathematics and her dream of becoming an engineer. Michael heard about Alexander's failed marriage and the emptiness that had followed his greatest business successes. "I have everything and nothing at the same time," Alexander confessed. "No real connections. No purpose beyond the next acquisition, the next billion." As dawn broke over the city skyline, Alexander made a decision. "I want to offer you a job, Collins." Michael raised an eyebrow. "I already have a job. Not as a janitor. We have a veterans outreach program that needs leadership. Someone who understands what it means to transition back to civilian life, who's faced real challenges. The salary is 6 figures, with full benefits." Michael set down his glass. "I don't need charity, Reeves." "This isn't charity," Alexander insisted. "It's recognition of your skills and experience. The same skills I overlooked because I couldn't see past your uniform." He leaned forward. "Plus, we offer college scholarship programs for employees' children." At the mention of Emma's future, Michael's resolve wavered. "I'd need a schedule that allows me to be there for her." "We can make that work," Alexander promised. "And I'd like to meet her sometime. She sounds like someone who could teach me a thing or two about what really matters." 2 months later, Michael stood in his new office on the 14th floor of Reeves Tower. Through the window, he could see Emma in the company's newly established after-school program, working alongside other employees' children on a robotics project. She looked up and waved, her smile brighter than he'd seen in years. His phone buzzed with a text from Alexander. "Board approved the expanded veterans program. Full funding for 5 years. You were right about the mental health component. Dinner tonight to celebrate?" Michael smiled as he typed his reply, "Emma's making her famous spaghetti. You're welcome to join us. No Armani required." In the executive suite 40 floors above, Alexander looked at the photograph now framed on his desk, a group shot of the Phoenix teams, their faces young and determined, unaware of the different paths their lives would take. Beside it sat a newer photo, Alexander, Michael, and Emma at the company picnic, all 3 laughing as they failed spectacularly at 3-legged race. He touched the Phoenix tattoo on his shoulder, a reminder of who he had been before wealth and power had changed him. Thanks to an unexpected encounter with a janitor he had nearly dismissed, Alexander Reeves was finding his way back to himself, rediscovering the purpose he had lost somewhere along his journey to the top. Sometimes, the most valuable lessons come from the people we least expect to teach us. Sometimes, the path to redemption begins with a single moment of recognition, when we truly see another person, and in doing so, finally see ourselves. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories of human connection and second chances. Remember, we're all fighting battles others know nothing about, and a little kindness can change someone's entire world.